Looking for a perfect everyday watch? This right here just might be it. Hello, today I welcome you to my world of watches, and in this video I really want to emphasize on this Timex Expedition Chronograph, which I wanted to get my hands on for a very long time, and I think that this design from Timex combined with the watch's specifications makes up for pretty much a perfect everyday wear. If you are sort of an outgoing person, casual style, looking for pretty much a beater watch with great water resistance, very attractive looks, and that also has practical elements like the electric backlight and also a chronograph function, this is one of the best you can get in my opinion. Now, this exact version that I have here from my research that I've done is pretty rare. I couldn't find any active listings on it, so if you do, please leave them in the comments down below. But in this video, I will talk about the Timex Expedition Chronograph in general. They do have different color combinations to choose from that I will link in the description down below. So just so you know, there are other variations to choose from. So let's take a look at this very nice offering from Timex. So as always, we will quickly run over the packaging. Mine came in a cardboard box. Again, nothing really special, good looking box. It is nice enough if you want to give this watch to someone. Now, speaking about the dimensions, on the official Timex website, they are wrong. It says that it's a 42mm watch, but my measurements show that the case itself is 43mm, but the bezel is 41. So I'm not entirely sure where the 42 is coming from. Nevertheless, it has a very nice size. It is about 52mm lug to lug, 13mm thick, has a lug width of 20mm and weighs 76 grams. And now you can see it on my roughly 7-inch wrist, and I have to tell you, it is extremely comfortable. Just like the casual clothes that you would wear with this watch give a comfy feeling when you go out and about, this watch does exactly the same. You just put it on and forget about it until you need to tell the time or time something in general with the chronograph function. It is lightweight, doesn't get in the way of anything, even though it appears quite thick. If you wear a sweater, it will easily hide underneath a cuff. In general, the wearing experience is just amazing. Moving on to the band, I changed it to a different one. I bought this watch pre-owned, so the leather band that it came on was really worn out. Pretty nice, genuine leather, but it was the end for it. But this is perfect, as I can now show you just how versatile this watch is for different types of bands. Now I put it on this fabric / jeans kind of a material strap. The blue just works so good with this watch, it makes the dial stand out even more, and I don't know, I just like how it looks and how it matches with the blue jeans that I have. Next up is the beige color Perlon strap. Now this is kind of a low-key type of setup. This way the dial doesn't really stand out, but the watch becomes like a one piece, as the dial is really similar in color. Again, works great with beige bands. Also falling into the same low-key category is this watch with a gray NATO strap. Works very well, doesn't stand out, and the NATO adds some practicality by protecting your watch from falling completely off the wrist if the spring bar happens to fail. The other choice that I have is a black sailcloth strap, but it doesn't really have to be a sailcloth. I'm just showing it for the color. It could be just a simple fabric, a NATO strap, or a black leather strap. This is just a classic look. If you don't really want to match anything, this pretty much goes with everything. Bright dial, dark strap, really can go wrong. Now finally, for something a little bit more bright, maybe for summer, this is kind of a red pattern NATO strap. I'm a guy that likes colors, so this may not be your cup of tea, but it matches beautifully with the red chronograph hand, so I think it works really well together. As you can see, this watch works so well with a lot of different styles, and if you are interested in any of these straps, I will leave some links in the description down below. I won't stay at the Caseback for very long, as it is really not that interesting, just that it has an E with an arrow going through it, sort of an emblem, which I believe stands for Expedition. Basic writings, nothing really special, though I do want to note one thing. I had a simple Expedition Scout, also from Timex, which was just a simple field watch, but one of the negatives that I found on it was that it only had 50 meters of water resistance. Now, my problem with this watch is that just like the Scout version, it has the exact same pressed on Caseback, but now they claim that it has 100 meters of water resistance, which on most watches, if they have 100 meters of water resistance, the Caseback is usually already a screw-on rather than this pressed on style. Doesn't really raise confidence if you plan to take this watch a little bit deeper than just for a swim, and plus with all of that, it doesn't have a screw down crown, so even though it claims to be 100 meters of water resistance, I really wouldn't try and push its limits. Now, the case itself has a very interesting finishing, which I very much like. The case is stainless steel and the crown as well as the pushers are all bead blasted, which gives this kind of a cool tactical matte finish. It does reflect light in this different kind of way. With the polished stainless steel, you can see the reflection of the light. With this kind of finishing, it seems like the case color itself changes. Very intriguing effect which oftentimes appears in the sunlight. So the finishing is really simple, but it works perfectly with this design. The glass covering this dial is just a simple mineral glass, and as you can see, it already has some scratches which were made by the previous owner, and from what I see, they do appear quite fast, as these watches are kind of an, as I've said, everyday type wear. So the crystal does have various meetings with walls, the corners of the office desk, and oftentimes just being put the crystal way down on the counter before going to bed. So if you think that you would be the person that will do all of these things, then the crystal will definitely scratch up quite fast. I do have plans to change it to sapphire though, as I really love this timepiece, so that would be really nice, and I think it would boost the longevity of this watch. And finally we come to the dial of this watch, which in my opinion is very well balanced. The black against these sort of a not completely white, I'd say milk color dial just works so well, and then the red accents on the chronograph hand as well as the tips of the hands on the subdials being red as well just works flawlessly in my opinion. As you saw from the previous few clips, this dial is just so versatile and goes with so many different outfits. It's just amazing to me. There are other dial colors to choose from, which as I've said I will link in the description down below, and you can see some of them on the screen right now. So if you don't fancy this one, there are other options to choose from. I'm very happy that I got my hands on this particular version, as I have been searching for this one for quite a long time. For me, it gives this kind of a youngster slash hipster feel. Even though there are a lot of things going on the dial of this watch, it doesn't seem to be complicated at all. The printing of the indices is crisp, it's black, it's printed very well. Then we have a chapter ring matching the color of the dial, Timex name on top, then the Expedition on the left, and the writing of Chronograph is on the right. Now the layout of these writings may differ from the color variations you choose to go for. As you can see on this black PVD case with the brown dial, the writings are in the different places, and also the design changes a little bit too. The hands are again nothing really too special. The long chronograph hand is arrow shaped, and then for the hour as well as the minute hand, they went with a tapered style. For the subdials, they went with a very simple straight hand style. The top left measures your chronograph minutes, the top right measures 1/20th of a second if you want to get that precise time, and then the bottom one is just a regular time seconds, and then there is a date window at the 4 o'clock. Now from time to time, these chronograph hands, they do have a tendency to run past the point where they are supposed to come back to when you stop the chronograph. As you can see, for example, the 30-minute hand is now not at 30, even though the chronograph was reset. This happens with the big chronograph hand as well, and also the one on the right. So if you want to fix the top left subdial, you have to put the crown in the first position, like you would change the date, and then with the bottom pusher, you just press it until it is on the 30. If you want to fix the long chronograph hand or the one on the right, you take the crown out to the second position, and then the top button is to fix the long chronograph hand, and the bottom one is to fix the subdial on the right. You don't really have to press the buttons each and every time, you could just hold on to it, and then the change will happen a lot faster. And there you go, you've just fixed your watch hands. Overall, for me, this watch just seems so practical. The design is very nice. You also get a chronograph function, which is very useful, and the date window is a very nice addition too. Lastly, I want to show the sort of a lume on this watch, which is very unique. You might have got the writing of Indiglo on the bottom of the dial already, which is Timex's own type of luminescence that they use on the watch. It is basically an electric backlight that is behind the dial, which you can access by pressing on the big crown. Very nice idea, very practical, and the legibility in the dark is just great. So for my final thoughts, it is really hard to say something bad about this watch. For the price that you pay, it is just wonderful, beautiful design in my opinion. It has great heritage. The brand has been around for almost 170 years by now. So not only you get a very good looking watch, but also the one that has history. For me, I just don't see where you would go wrong with buying this watch. It is practical, it has some quirks to it like the Indiglo, and it just works. Very basic, but that's what makes it beautiful, perfect for everyday wear. So there you go, here's my full review on this Timex Expedition Chronograph. As you can probably tell by now, I really enjoy this watch. For the price that you pay, it's just wonderful. It has a great design, pretty good water resistance, the dial is practical without being cluttered. So would I recommend it? I will definitely say 100% yes. Very simple, not thinking about it kind of watch that you can beat all day long. So what's more to ask? As always, the links will be in the description down below if you're interested. And if you like this video, please leave a like and also consider subscribing and hitting that little bell so you'll get notified when I upload a new video. And now thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.